Hello and welcome to Leeroy Gaming, where I jump headfirst and try a variety of games to provide you with my first impressions and thoughts to help you decide if a game is worth your time. Now, in addition, if a game hooks me, I'll do a follow-up video with helpful tips and tricks from the experience I gather, so you're going to be able to find out information on those follow-up videos, also linked in the description if I choose to do one. Now, today I'll be looking at Loop Hero. It is in demo format that you can get for free right now as of this recording on Steam. It is a roguelite with RPG elements, light RPG elements, card play, and also some autoplay elements. So kind of very unique game format, as we'll see in a second. From what I've gathered on the Steam page, the theme is very unique as well. Kind of dark, grim, but a little tongue-in-cheek as well. It does release March 4th, 2021 on Steam, and you can check it out via the link in the video description. So let's go ahead and start a game here. Start a game slot. We'll do the tutorial, and let's see what it's all about. The stars in the sky are going out, one by one. But no one notices it. No one can stop it. I'm racing to the last place where there is still hope. I need to make it before it is too late. Sounds of agony will quickly fade. The world will be destroyed, even the memory of it will be gone. And even if there is absolutely no chance of bringing everything back, there will always be someone who is willing to do the impossible. In a place without space, without time, without memories. Where am I? I can't see anything except this path. My head is killing me. I remember only a skeleton with a staff in the sky. This darkness was coming from him. Did he destroy everything around here? Just standing here won't do me any good, I guess. So press the switch between adventure mode and planning mode, stop mode. Okay, so I can right click. So, okay, this is part that I've seen in a little preview. So this is kind of an auto circuit that our little hero, this little tiny pixel, goes around. And he is going to go round and round in circles. This is procedurally generated. So when you die and come back, you're going to have different versions of this. So hope I'll be able to find some shelter before nightfall, if such a thing as night still even exists without a sky, of course. Pay attention to the day progress that's up here in the corner. At the top of the screen, new enemies usually appear at the end of the day. Alright, going back to day mode. A living ball of slime, quite a nuisance. They digest anything they can. Hey, I remember this creature. Maybe I just need to freshen up my memory and everything will be back to normal. Travel, fighting, and most other actions are done automatically. The player can't affect them directly. This is very reminiscent of, man, I remember playing on my Super Nintendo, like Final Fantasy 5 or 6, I don't know what it was. So kind of pixelated, but pretty fun. Kind of definitely takes me back. It's hard to fight with your bare hands. I think there's a weapon in the remains of this thing that's not fully digested. So it looks like, okay, so loot drops here, some basic information, kind of simple enough. I think I remembered there was a grove nearby. Are these even my memories, or do they belong to that slime? So you can use cards that are left after defeating enemies to add various new objects to the map. That's what planning mode is for. So you can drag the card. So there's a little flavor text on the bottom right. So the grove, a gentle rustle of leaves, a crack of dry branch, a feeling of being watched. And so here's a little effect also. So it spawns a rat wolf every 2 days. The wolf can move to an adjacent tile. So as I mentioned, you don't directly control, but you kind of have this God mode element to this, I guess, too, because you're placing these parts of the world or the memories or whatever this is, this faded darkness, and then those things will impact what your little guy fights. So this grove we can place here, and it mentions every 2 days, so that's every time this fully fills up. So if we look and we're playing this, it goes pretty fast. So every, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds is a day. Oh, there's the first one spawning. Now it looks like when you mouse over either yourself or the rat wolf, it's going to give you their stats. Now it has living, has a soul. Now one thing I wish is that you could like mouse over like these these factors like living has, even though I can figure out logically what it means, it would be nice to get more details on it. Forest rat wolf. I was right. Some emotional stress, if you call for images and a bit of adrenaline, everything will be forgotten like a bad dream. Or remembered as a bad... Darn. It's good that nobody is listening. You can get new items and cards during battle, as you've probably already noticed. Some items have unique abilities, as do most of the cards. By hovering over an item or card, you can inspect properties, equip a new weapon, and place a new card on a map. Continue. So I'm assuming this is kind of like the random element. You may get different cards, different equipment that will differentiate your runs. So this one, oh, okay. So it looks like it has like rarity background. So it's got a 1 on here. This is also one, but it's blue. Insinuating it might be better. So this also increases your attack speed. Okay. And so we have a rock. So its magnificence appearance gives you strength. Base 2 hit points and then plus 2 hit points for every adjacent rock or mountain. So it sounds like you're going to want to put those next to each other. And then the forest. A thick forest, nobody knows who or what could be lurking inside. It makes you a bit nervous. This adds plus 1% attack speed. Okay, so it looks like I can place it in any of these spots. I just place it randomly. And these are, you're going to want to kind of bundle them together of rocks and mountains based off the description. So let my OCD kick in. I could do like a little 3x3 grid here potentially. So let's just start up here in the corner. We'll go from there. Great. So there was a mountain over there, and here's a forest. The world is just like new. The branches and stories in my backpack are a sure sign of that. Or stones. Some of your actions will yield you resources that you will need further on, but not right now. This shouldn't stop you from looking at them right now. Continue your journey, changing the game mode. Alright, so he's looking. Okay, here's the cozy camp. So I think it's time to have some rest. The game itself is a journey on a loop path. Only you will decide when it's time for the hero to return to the camp. Either you or the fangs of the claws of your enemies, of course. You can retreat almost any time, but a special animation will let you know when it's safer to do it. Retreat to the camp by pressing this button. Okay. So here's the key. Alright, so your thoughts of leaving the battlefield and going back to your cozy camp has passed through your mind. What a timely idea. The camp is just around the corner. Retreat, keep all your resources. So I'm going to guess that if you try and retreat when you're not near the camp, you're going to lose a certain percentage. But there's that push your luck element of this game, it appears as well. So as things get tougher, your health gets lower. You know, if you die, I don't know if you lose everything or a portion of it, but I'm going to guess it's definitely not going to allow you to keep everything. So we'll retreat as instructed for the tutorial. It's cold and dark here. A small fire can solve both these problems. Nice place to set up a camp. That's when all resources you've gathered will come in handy. Who could have thought? You have just enough wood and stones to make a campfire. What a nice coincidence. Build a campfire using the building function while in camp. Press the building button, select the campfire, and place it. Okay, so let's take a look here. Campfire pit. So again, you're gonna have like flavor text. So a common campfire, warm and cozy. Monsters keep away from it, so it's a nice spot to have some rest between your travels. It's also the center of your camp and the starting point of your adventures. So the effect is the hero restores 20% of his max health upon entering the campfire tile. So okay. So we place nice place. Okay, so it looks like this is going to be starting spot. Cool. Congratulations, you've beaten the annoying tutorial. I like how it's so self-aware. Actually, a pretty good tutorial. Again, my only complaint so far has been the lack of kind of mouse over tooltips. You can now start your first expedition, or not. Do as you wish. Alright, well, let's give it a shot. Expedition. Oh, ooh, grim. God, that kind of reminds me of like Kingdom Death Monster kind of, but obviously much more tongue-in-cheek. Alright, let's take a look here. Alright. This path, everything is wrong, but I remember. It looks like a completely different place, and it's empty again. Do my actions even have any meaning? Like I have a choice. If one needed to give up and cry to save the world, I would be the worst savior of all. Let's do it! Alright, let's take a look. Got a bunch of slimes. Alright. Oh wow, that dropped 3 things. So let's right click, pause this. Let's start my little rock formation. This is new meadow. Earth covered with a thick carpet of grass. Nothing really interesting, unless you're a cow, of course. Love the little humor. Heals 2 hit points at the start of each day. Okay. So again, each day is this little cycle. So just gonna heal 2 health every, I don't know, 5 to 7 hit points or daily times. This doesn't really have any adjacency comments, so I'll just randomly put that there. There you go. So that should give us 4 hit point regen. Go back to playing. Oh, here's the stats. So see here, hit point per day +4, max hit point +2. So I like that. It tracks all your stats here. We have another one. Let's take a look at this while it fights. A silky bastion of 8-legged hunters. Oops. Alright. Oh, interesting. So I just right-click to try and pause as it goes into combat, and it kind of pre-paused it. So that's going to be good. I'm guessing if there's like, you have a lot of monsters right next to each other, you don't want to automatically run to the next one before you can do anything. So let's quickly look at what we got here. I got a shield, 4 defense. Again, it doesn't tell me what 4 defense means. That's a little annoying. I know if that, I doubt it just subtracts 4 damage, or maybe it does, or is it a percentage based? We'll see. Spider cocoon. So to spawn a spider on an adjacent tile once a day. So that's important. I don't know what the limits of monsters are, but if you do once a day, by the time you do a full circle, that's going to have multiple spiders in there guaranteed. Let's see here. Battlefield. Its smell of blood and steel spawns a chest at the start of each loop. Enemies on adjacent tiles can become ghosts. So I'm going to take a wild guess that's probably not good. So I would think I want to place it somewhere where it impacts the least amount of monsters. It's like 1 or 2. And obviously depending on the generation of the land, that's going to vary. So let's just like, I don't know. Looks like it's going to be 2 no matter what. Meadow, another one of these, so let's get a little more health. And then what is this? Vampire Mansion. Hungry eyes follow your every move through the holes in the roof. Adds vampires to battles on adjacent tiles. That's kind of cool. Let's do this. So let's put it here. So when it has that chest, it'll add it to that. Why not? Have a vampire mansion right next to our cozy camp. Now let's continue. So now I'm at 6 hit points per day regen. Let's pause again really quick. So the mountains. So again, these adjacency says mountains or rocks, but the difference is this gives you base 2 and 2 per adjacency. The mountains, it's like a rock, but really big. It gives you +5 hit points for each adjacent rock or mountain. So this gives you a better adjacency bonus, but no base. So I'm guessing you want to put it on afterwards, like this, when you have like 2 of them. So now all of a sudden it should have more max health. And do this extra meadow, why not? What is it? Beacon. A worthless landmark in a world with no direction. But it gives +40% movement speed within its range and +20% attack speed for all units. So I'm guessing that means both you and the monsters. I'm assuming because of these things spawn per day, the faster you go through the levels, the quicker you can get through things, and so I guess that's good. So let's put it here to get a good exposure, and let's see how that plays out. Very interesting. I do love the art. This almost reminds me of Castlevania. Back off, human! A vampire, where are your lands? If your farmers need help, I would be glad to offer it. So we're offering help to a vampire. No more lands, no more flock, only hundreds of years of emptiness. And hundreds of years of hunger. Whoa, he is not happy. Save yourself while you still can. I don't know how long will I be able to keep my head straight. What hundreds of years are you talking about? Your mind is easy to trick, but you can't trick my hunger. It demands its share. Every sip, every drop of blood will go to satiate it. I'm too weak, but you can help me, and then I will set this crumbling world right. Right. I'm doing this not for just myself, but for everyone, in the name of good. So be grateful for my hard work and just let me bleed you dry. Okay. Alright, so this is what they're talking about, the mechanic. He's always added to another fight. So he's never alone. And so here we go. So again, there's some to it. 30% vampirism, 20% attack. I think that attack is from the building I built. Now, it'd be nice if we knew what I'm going to take a wild guess. Vampirism is like he heals 30% of the... Yeah, see, he's got a little health that pops up every time he does damage. But For somebody brand new, it'd be nice if you could have a description. So, vampires often owned our lands. They kept the peace and helped their settlements to prosper. But this won't do it all. Now they are just pale shadows of their former selves, both physically and mentally apparently. The blood of other creatures doesn't make good sustenance. He wasn't joking about the hunger. Even if the creatures just stand near him, are imbued with the power to devour someone else's life. So here's a new shield. So 6 defense, magic damage, and vampire. That's cool. And it looks like there's a rarity system. So that's, I'm guessing, like rare, because it's yellow. If it's anything like other RPGs. And I'm assuming, I don't know if these numbers also kind of like a tier. Hint you what's better or worse. Alright, see, real quick. Wow, so just got a bunch of stuff here. Cemetery, so spawns a skeleton every 3 days. So a place for the dead and for some of the living occasionally. So I just kind of place that. I don't know the strategy for this quite yet. But again, we had those rocks, so let's build those out a little bit. Let's do this. There we go. I'm gonna build a little 3x3 here. The meadow, more of the health. Again, I'm sure there's a strategy to these, but for now I'm just gonna place it kind of neatly. Pretty cool. And again, health is kind of dropping consistently. But we have some vampirism, so this should be, let's see, yeah, there we go. Or so we're getting 1 health back. Probably because our base damage is only 8 to 12, so 10%, roughly 1, I guess. So we need a better weapon so we can do more damage and have that vampirism down. Now I'm getting kind of beat up by these things. New chest piece, there we go, so counter. Again, no description, but I'm going to guess with a chance to hit back when it hit us. We'll see. I've seen little evades pop up. Let's pause this real quick. Got that cemetery. I don't know how many of those graveyards I want. Let's place them randomly. Mountain. Almost got my little OCD-inspired 3x3 grid. Another beacon, so that's that fast movement speed. I don't know, let's have a jam for this area. Definitely seems like the items are random, so your mileage may vary, and I'm assuming the cards are random as well. So here's Battlefield, smells of blood and steel, spawns a chest at the start of each route, but enemies on adjacent tiles can become ghosts. I'm assuming that means that's not good. Let's pause really quick, because we're about to start to loop. I don't know. Oh, there's a little, just spawn a chest there. Okay. Hold on. Battlefield. Let's go ahead and drop it there. Put this somewhere over here where there's not many monsters. Treasury. Oh, that's a new one. The thick walls guard all types of riches from thieves and their previous owners. So gives a random resource after placing anything on an adjacent tile. Can't be built adjacent to anything. Okay. So now we're seeing a little bit more manipulation of the terrain. This is starting to make more sense. So you want to... just my basic logic's kicking in and saying, okay, you want to place this and then surround it by things. So this is probably where the meadows that don't have normal adjacency bonuses, probably you could have saved those, placed it around this. I could also place a rock, but for now, let's finish my little combo here. Oh, wow. Well, that was kind of cool. I just got a bunch of resources, I don't know why, but this transformed. So I'm assuming this means there may be kind of hidden combos for the different terrain types. So this transformed into a mountain peak. A stone giant could have supported even the sky itself if it wasn't already gone. So now this gives 120 health, 5 additional hit points for every adjacent mountain or rock tile, and spawns a harpy every 2 days. Oh, lovely. Okay. We got a new ring, so you got to pay attention to this. Attack, speed counter, regen. I do really like that it keeps track and adds up all your stats. So your max health as it adds up. Again, magic damage. I don't know what that means. There's ways to cast spells. Maybe that adds on top of your damage. Again, wish they spin out a little bit better. Okay, we got another vampire. Let's see. So let's do that meadow next to this. I don't know. Let's. I want to get that sweet, sweet loot bonus. So the mountains, we'll just keep doing to try and get those, maximize those adjacency bonuses. It spawned a. Did that spawn some? Oh, it spawned a goblin camp. The sound of backstabbing can be heard from miles away. Spawns a goblin on an adjacent tile once a day. Appears for every 10 mountains or rock tiles. So it sounds like there's that balance. If you have a bunch of mountains, you get all this health, but it's also spawning that, which is good or bad. But we have Oblivion. This is interesting too. A bit of the Lich's magic causes anything to be totally forgotten. So you can erase any established tiles, or it erases monsters from the road. So that's some extra strategy too. So if there's a certain monster you don't like, you can kind of get rid of it. Oh, and let's upgrade this weapon while we're at it. We weren't paying attention. So kind of do like that. You can kind of have it kind of go in the background if it's not too tough, and kind of look at things so it keeps progressing. You can also pause it so you don't get overwhelmed. And if you really, so for me, if I'm playing this normally, I'd be pausing after every combat, optimizing every drop, and kind of try and get the most of it. For now, we're just kind of go kind of cool. There's another vampire mansion, so again, it's gonna modify anything it's near. So let's again, I think these little oozes spawn randomly. Yeah, let's put it here. I don't know. We'll test out this thing too. This Oblivion. So I guess there's two ways you can think about it. You can either, if you have a combo that's really tough on the map, you can get rid of it, or like a building that annoys you, or if you misplaced it. No! What do you mean no? You want to save the world? You want to ask for help? Our answer is no. How did you? But why no? We see far away. We see deep inside. For a long time there's been just emptiness instead of the sky, but it doesn't stop us from seeing. Your saving of the world is one-sided and too upfront. Each person sees his own way of saving the world. That's why no one will ever join you. Fine, I don't fully understand it, but tell me your version. What does it mean to save the world to you? This game's kind of philosophical too, so it makes you ponder your reality here. My progeny and my kin, for it to be strong and to live, it's a part of the cycle of life and death. It is life itself. It is the world. I will kill you and feed your remains to my starving younglings, and life will go on. And how many lives does your blade give birth to by killing again and again? Only one. I don't want you or your children to die from starvation. Please try to see a reason. If my mission succeeds, harpies can have all the sky and all the hunting grounds they need. I can't feed my children with your beautiful words. It's time to say goodbye. Whew, man. So, it's kind of interesting. This game kind of throws in kind of commentary on, I don't know, the other side of it, like these monsters, NPCs we just beat up and kill in games just for EXP and loot. But from them, they're, attacking to feed their kids. Kind of, it's a little messes with your mind a little bit. Same with our hero here. I feel awful. By fixing one evil, I'm becoming a source of another. Kind of makes sense. One person's hero is another person's villain. There's no home for harpies except the highest mountains, but there's no food there. I can't imagine how they managed to survive if their mountain was simply cut out of reality. Pretty dark. Stomp! Where did these goblins come from? I don't remember. Remembering you. We remember ourselves. Now give us all you've got. Alright, sigh. You have no idea what's going on, right? Why don't you help me restore order in this world first? And then you can do anything you want to. Goblins must rob. No other order in the world. Goblins. Goblins never change. Fair enough. Guess I don't have any valid objections here. Oh wait, I do have one. How about... So now we're fighting a skeleton. I don't know where the skeleton came from. Oh, hold on. Ooh, this is nice. Wow. Okay. So our level 1, talk about progress. 86 health, 10% counter. This is 356 max health. Magic defense and some... So let's see here. Yeah, look at that. That's a pretty big jump. It's strange how these creatures appeared here on their own. Maybe it means that everything is actually not so bad and the world is trying to restore itself. Well, that even an apocalypse isn't enough to get rid of some pests. True. Alright, so if we take a look here, we've now done a couple circles. I'm pretty beat up. So there is that push your luck mechanic as I mentioned, because if you die, I'm assuming you lose quite a bit. So I'm almost near this camp where I'm, well, I think I'll be able to get back. But let's see what happens if I click this prematurely. Here we go. Okay, so you keep 60% of all resources found. This is if you retreat without dying, but not near the camp, which makes me think that if you die, you're gonna either lose all of it or maybe keep a small amount. But let's take a look here. Obviously, we're almost at the end, so no reason to go back then. Now this is lit up. Let's just go ahead and go back. All right, so now we're going to save this. So this is kind of a strategic stop. Now I did notice here, for a second, there's this bar, upper left-hand corner. I don't know why the tutorial didn't mention this, but I noticed it. This is the map completion progress. So it says here, the boss of this chapter will appear in the campfire tile when this fills. So on top of kind of balancing out, hey, am I going to die to the normal number of monsters? There's also the thing is, if you're out and about and this spawns, well then you may not be able to go directly back to your campfire until you either fight the boss and win or lose. So again, it's that push your luck mechanic. Once you actually fill this out, and that's where I guess the optimization of all these battles, you know, you do a lot of stuff, kill a lot of unique stuff of certain combos, get a bunch of loot, get better upgrades, and there's obviously some luck, then you'll be better prepared to fight the boss. So, but for now, let's see what happens when we retreat. I'm assuming we're going to get to build. Here's our little camp now. Oh, and a new person. So I can believe it. Hey, everybody, the boy has managed to return. Yay! Survivors. Does this mean that I'm not alone anymore? Where did you come from? Is there still a place without darkness? We don't know where we came from, or we can't remember. These people you see are only a small part that's left from the group, I think. Seems like they have memory loss too. You're not sure? We're not sure. We reached that conclusion because of the abandoned luggage and leftover daily rations. So this is kind of like, I guess we can add to the description kind of Groundhog's Day simulator, but with some leftover elements. Every day we find new signs of people that, as far as everybody here knows, have never even been with us. It's like we forgot them. We forgot? Exactly. It's like people disappear every day and we instantly forget they even existed. Almost as if we forgot the place we came from. And our families and maybe even ourselves. Pretty deep. My name is Yoda. Not Yoda. Yota. That's the part I still remember. Nobody else's memory is in much better shape. That's why I remember so little about myself. Everything is forgotten. But wait, you said that I managed to return? It means that you knew that I'd left here. That's why it's so important for us. We saw you leave, but we were gone before we were able to approach you. Listen, we can't wander around this emptiness anymore. There's a campfire and a flea, sleeping bags here, a real luxury in these dark times. What do you say? Oh, of course. I'd be very grateful if we could team up. I want to restore everything. I've begun to remember the world as it was before. But there's no point in it without other people. It's too lonely without them. Remembering the world? I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm too exhausted. But we'd be glad if you could help us. And we'd be glad to help you. Just don't ask us to go with you. I don't know how you managed to return, but for us, leaving a group is too dangerous. And plot device. I'll ask no such things of you. For now, I just want to have a place to return to. A place where I can hear other people's voices. I can't even tell. Is this a boy or a girl? Or maybe like, you know, those Japanese CRPGs where it's like the androgynous, like you don't know, like it's the male that looks kind of feminine, but is still a male. I guess it doesn't really matter. Not like we have a name or anything. We weren't joking about helping you. Here are the few things that survived the cataclysm and neither vanished nor were forgotten. You might need them. Oh, nice. They gave us some materials. Okay, so now there's a statistic button. Oh, cool. So for the OCD, 27 minutes of playtime. Okay, interesting. Okay, resources lost. You haven't lost any resources. You're a keeper, aren't you? Ha, it's funny. So this obviously means that you lose stuff if you die or leave early. And let's see, build. Okay, so, wow. All right, so there's a bunch of buildings. It looks like these 3 are unlocked, but we don't have the materials for these, so we can do the field kitchen. Let's build this really quick. So field kitchen. A very important place for any camp. It's your nose. If your nose isn't lying, there's good food here. 10% to the campfire's healing power. So campfire has 20%, so I'm assuming that means 30%. Additive, not multiplicative, but who knows. unlocks the blood growth card. So this is where the card management comes in. I guess this is one of the ways that you can add more cards that could pop up. All right. Now, I don't know if this is going to impact, like if it matters where you place it. Do you know the difference between a good cook and a bad cook? The food made by the good cook is tastier. What? You're waiting for something more elaborate? Sometimes the truth is very simple. Look, I have a cauldron, a hearth, a couple of knives, a bucket of potatoes, 3 onions, and some ham. Nothing special, everything is very simple. But give me a few minutes and everyone in this camp will be running to my table, following the tasty smell of a good stew. Sounds good. Build, okay, so we can't build anything else. And if we go to the expedition, okay. So what is this? So now we see, it looks like the full effect. So this is highlighting. Cool. So this is that grove card that we unlocked. And I'm guessing this means, okay, so we have 4 cards active. I'm guessing this means you can, basing on basic mathematical symbols, I'm guessing this means you can't have more than 5 and can't have less than 2. So I'm guessing as you play, you're going to unlock new cards, and you can minimize it. So here, this seems like it has to be 2. Okay, yes, that definitely looks correct. Looks like you have a total that you can have up to 12 cards. So if you don't like certain effects, so what does this blood grove do? So it can be placed near a forest adjacent to a road. Roots devour enemies that have less than 15% hit point left. So this is very strategic. So let's say I like that, but I wasn't too hot on those spiders. I can do that. Or I can keep them both, because I can have up to 12. And then you can kind of confirm. Okay, but I could totally see if you're trying to get, like, let's say I do like these rocks and meadows for those buffs, the treasury. So if I have less of these popping up, it means statistically more likely to have these pop up. So let's, like, for example, get rid of the spider cocoons, confirm. And on the right, so we didn't see this when we played a tutorial, but chapter 1, enemies have 0 to 1 abilities, enemy strength minus 5%, enemy strength grows 2% per loop. There's the power creep. Max amount of resources 10. So that's important as well, and I'm assuming that means resources per run, because we obviously have more than 10 here. Class warrior, so confirmed more than 1 class is going to be in a game. A class that doesn't have any particular benefits or disadvantages has the highest durability compared to other classes, plus 1.5% damage for each second in the fight. So that makes sense. A fighter, you want to kind of beef them up, have them survive as long, and they're just, as long as you can survive the fight, eventually you'll overpower the enemy. Additional class stats, damage, attack. Okay, so I'm guessing maybe other classes cannot have other effects pop up. So here are the only type of stats that can populate and the type of gear. So I'm guessing other ones will have boots, but maybe won't have a ring or have 2 rings. I don't know. So that's interesting. So that right there is the game. It's my first kind of let's play. It seems very fun. Definitely, I've got that itch, the addicted itch to play this. I will play this for a couple hours, and I definitely think I will create a follow-up video for this. Again, if you're interested in checking this out, the demo is still available for free on Steam using the description below, and you're going to be able to access the store page. And it is coming out shortly on Steam, and there is a pre-order bonus. So check it out if you like it. Again, this is Leeroy Gaming. Hope you enjoyed this content. Hope my kind of in-depth feedback on the different things on screen. If you guys enjoy that style, I tend to, in my gaming sessions, really like to read everything, figure out all the mechanics, and I like to share that with people. So if you like that style, make sure to like and subscribe. Definitely helps the channel out, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.